Hello, guys, boys and girls, men and women, whatever, trans or whatever you are. I am happy to say hi to
Hello guys,
Francois.
everyone out there. How are you guys? We're back together again, brother. It's
Back-
been
Back together, the twin,
again.
African twin.
Yeah, the African twins. It's been more than 2 years.
Oh yeah, 3 years.
3 years now. Yeah, three
Yeah.
years since the pandemic, and now we are back together. And I'm back in the Philippines. He's back in the Philippines.
And
And
that's
here we are.
that is Angel, his
Angel.
wife. Hey, welcome back to the Philippines. Huh?
Welcome back, my home.
Yeah. How was Africa?
Africa is very nice. I love it there. It's
Yeah.
my home.
Wow.
Home away from home, but you have no more home. We don't have a home yet in Africa, but we are planning someday, sometime, ever
Yeah.
to have a home in Africa too.
Because that's a place that is very
just unique.
very unique, and
Very
like you
unique.
say, the fruits are very cheap there. And before I started this film, I just wanted to you started talking a little bit about South Africa.
Yeah.
I wanted actually to talk to you a little bit about what happened since we met last time. We were talking
Yeah.
about but just give a couple of minutes about South Africa and the history, because you say people don't know the history.
People don't understand the history of the more I listen to people talking about South, especially foreigners, and nowadays even the young people in South Africa, they get indoctrinated so much nonsense. I mean, if you don't understand the history of South Africa from the start, from the beginning, the Chinese have a saying: the first step, if you're just off direction 1 centimeter at the start, the further you go, the more and more and more of course you become. And that is true with South Africa, because like these people today talking about South Africa and they don't understand the beginnings of the history of South Africa. They just have no idea what they're talking about. Most especially I hear people saying all the time that you just want to throw up, you ad nauseum. Oh, the USA and South Africa, we share a history. We have the same history. It's like, no, we don't have at all 100% different history, right? South Africa is absolutely the opposite of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia history. The opposite. Why? When the Americans, when the Canadians, when the Australians, when the fucking New Zealanders came to those countries, they took over those countries. They import enough immigrants to kill off, to push all the local inhabitants out. And today, the vast majority of population in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and USA are foreigners, are imported foreigners. The original people are very few, living in some very small, tiny little areas. In South Africa was the opposite. The foreigners, the original foreigners, the Dutch who came there, we are still there, but we are very few. The original inhabitants of South Africa are the vast majority. For each white man in South Africa, there are 10 black or brown or yellow inhabitants, 1 to 10.
But how can just let's recap that. So you say it's opposite from America. It means that when the white guys came there, they settled in areas where they did not chase away.
No, there
locals.
were no black people in the. That is the other thing that we have. That's a very serious problem. Everybody says South Africa is a black country. No, South Africa is not a black country. That's number one. South Africa is not a black country. South Africa is a mixed country. Always been a mixed country. So when the whites come to South Africa, it was already a mixed country, because the people they encountered were not black. The people they encountered were what we call today San, S-A-N, San, and Khoi San. These people were not black. They were yellow or brown people. They were not black at all. They were not negroid race. In fact, it took 150 years after the white people arrived in South Africa that they, for the first time, encountered the black man. 150 years. How about the US? How about Australia? How about Canada? Did it take them 150 years before they encountered a red Indian or whatever, the Inuit people? No, they encountered them immediately when they land, right? So it's so different. And we share the same history. So what does that mean? That means that the black That's like the black population of the U.S. If you want to concentrate on black people and white people, the black people were imported as slaves into the U.S. Right? Did we import the black people as slaves into South Africa? How many black did we import as slaves? Not fucking one. Not a single one. They were all. It's like, God, how can we share the same history?
The typical black Negroid, they are called. I don't know. Is it Bantu?
Bantu, yeah, the Bantu tribe. They immigrated from the Central Africa.
Yeah. I am born in Cameroon, and Cameroon is the cradle of the Bantus.
Yes.
So those guys actually came from
the Central
Nigeria
Africa.
and from Cameroon, from Congo. They spread around, and then finally they came down south to South.
They came down south.
Yeah.
They were coming down south, and the white people were moving north, and then they met 150 years later at a place called the border. Even today, it's right in the middle of South Africa. It's called the border because that's where the border, where the white and black met for the first time. It's still called the border area.
So the white guys were there before the Bantus in the southern part.
Yeah, if you take the whole of South Africa is a huge country, right? So possibly the blacks were already entering the northern parts of South Africa. The whites were already entering the southern parts of South Africa, and they were slowly moving. The blacks were moving down as the whites were moving up. So possibly at the same time, more or less. The original inhabitants of South Africa are the Khoisan people. They're still there, but there are very few of them. They got pushed out by the blacks, they got pushed out by the whites.
Exactly.
On both sides, and it's very sad. They were beautiful people. They are a beautiful people. I know many of the San people. They are beautiful people. They are They live close to nature. They are hunter-gatherer people. But they were not organized. They didn't have cows. They didn't have houses. They didn't have structures. So they were just moving around.
Wow. Okay. Let's pause a little bit. Hey, David, can you say hi to the guys? Hey, look, he's gonna present his toys.
I don't think YouTube likes to show children. Okay.
Hey, okay, wow. Okay, David. Yeah, we can make another video about that. Wow, look, he's so cute.
No, don't show.
Don't show, huh?
Cut it off. They will cut it out.
Okay. So now you have been in South Africa. You went back there with Angel for
2 years ago, almost
2 years ago. And then
and there's big changes. Big changes. I haven't been there for 30 years in South Africa. 30 more than 30 years actually, about 33, 32 years. So the whole country has changed totally. Okay, thank you. He's giving us a dinosaur. What is this?
T-Rex.
Huh?
T-Rex.
Shrek. Oh, Shrek.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah,
oh,
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Cool.
Did you have any T-Rex in South Africa?
No.
T-Rex.
Yeah, okay.
Never.
Animals.
So yeah, the country has changed totally, and
yeah, you said something interesting. You said that you don't recognize your own country
huge
because
part.
there's so many foreigners came there. Yeah.
I think there are at least 15 million. About a quarter of the population are now foreigners. Quarter. Can you imagine a quarter of your population? What is the population of Norway?
Yeah, we actually have something similar. We are like 4 million Norwegians and 1 million foreigners.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have about 60 million people now, and about 15 million are foreigners. It's really insane. I mean, it's totally insane. There are large parts of the country. You cannot meet one South African. You cannot. You go out sometimes for weeks. I wouldn't meet one single South African. I would just meet foreigners.
Did you visit your home place where you grew up?
No, I didn't go there. I went to visit my brother for a month. You know, he lives out in the desert. Even that is changing. I mean, even there, but it's much slower pace, but it's still changing. Still a lot of foreigners coming in there. A lot of drug dealers from the Western Africa. A lot of Muslims from East Africa, and so on. The whole of South Africa has changed massively, and the corruption has become incredible. I think we have the most corrupt government in the whole world. Absolutely, 100%. Most corrupt now in the whole world. Fucking incredible. But we still. The crazy thing is that South Africa is still better than most of Asia.
Yeah.
Even though we have the most corrupt government, and we are losing, and we've got so many foreigners, and we have lost so much money through corruption, we are still better than almost anywhere in Asia that I've been and have seen. So that is crazy. You know?
So something we talked about last time you were here. We were in 2020. You visited me in Digos in the other house, and that was in, I think it was in late June or maybe July, 2020.
Yeah.
So we thought we discussed about the lockdowns and little bit about the coming vaccines and stuff like that, and it turned out we were absolutely head on, huh?
Yes, of course.
And we said this is against all human rights. It's
Yeah.
against the constitutions of the Philippines and of all nations
Yeah.
to lock down people, to stop them from going to
Yeah,
work,
yeah.
to school, to.
But today, the mass media and the government don't want to talk about it, right? They don't want to talk about
They
it.
don't want to lose face.
They don't want to lose face because everything they said originally were wrong.
Yeah.
It's proven wrong. And you know what? The excess death statistics, excess death
Careful now, we are on YouTube, huh?
is massive.
Yeah.
It's massive after the vaccination.
Oh,
Nobody talks about it.
Careful, don't talk too much.
Yeah, you see.
We
So,
are not
yeah,
allowed.
we can get banned. We're not allowed to talk
Some of my videos were banned because I just talked about, and it was like
Yes.
2 years after I made the video.
Yeah.
I was just talking about where are we going after this, you know, where is it good to go, and I mentioned Sweden as an excellent place because, well, I've been living in Sweden, it's neighbor with Norway, and they were like the only so-called civilized country that didn't have these draconian lockdowns and all the bullshit. And people said Swedes don't need social distancing because they are already from the nature very shy people. They will, like if you go in a bus in the Philippines, somebody will come and sit beside you. You don't know the person, they will talk to you, right? But that will never happen in Sweden. They think you are crazy. If there is a bus stop and you are like waiting for the bus, you will not sit next to the guy there. You will sit as far away as possible.
Yeah.
So they don't need social distancing in
Yeah,
Sweden.
there's a joke I heard in Finland. The Finnish, what do you call a Finnish extrovert?
Extrovert.
Yeah, a Finland extrovert.
He's not a Finnish.
No, a Finnish extrovert is somebody who stares at your boots instead of his own boots. It's an extrovert in Finland, right?
Okay.
So,
But so anyway, the rest of the world they looked down, and here in Asia we were living through this stuff. You got your vaccines. I finally had to get my vaccine also.
yeah, I
because
got the Chinese vaccine.
Yeah, and you had to get it before me because you had to travel to South Africa. So you got married. How did you? Because I've been working for years to get married to Jai.
Yeah, so
for
I don't know if
years.
you remember, I got married in about 10 minutes or so because I you know, all my friends are trying to get married here. Guys, I tell you right now, it's like a nightmare. It's a mission. It's a mission from God if you're a believer. Like, you got to jump through so many hoops and do so many nonsense and pay so much money. And contrary to that, Angel and me went down to a mosque. Our mother is a Muslim, so we went. She took us to a mosque, and we literally got married. I mean, we walked in, we chatted to the people there, and about literally, they had a prayer meeting, and then after the prayer meeting, this big guy from Yemen or somewhere, and he just he said, a woman came in fully clothed, you know, and he said, oh, because on the men and the women are not together, right? So Angela was in her mom was on the other side, so they talked to the wife of this big guy, this imam, and then the woman walked in and chatted to him, and then he turned, he said, oh, you want to get married? And I was like, yeah, I'm here to get information about getting married, right? And he goes like, oh, okay, fine. And he just grabbed a piece of paper. He says, what's your name? You wrote down my name. And then he said, okay. And then the woman walked out, and she walked in with 3 other ladies. And then all of them up to here. And then I looked at them, and I was like, oh. Then I realized, oh, shit. And then this woman was talking to them, and I realized this is Angel, her mom, and another lady. And I was like, oh, what's happening here? I didn't realize what's going on, right? And the imam said to me, are are you willing to take care of your wife and support her no matter what? Are you willing to give her clothes and feed her every day? Are you willing to buy her medicine? Are you willing to take her opinion into account? I said, yes. And he turned to Angel and he asked her, well, are you willing to support your husband? And she said, yes. And he said, okay, congratulations, you're married. And I got the shock of my life. I was like, somebody hit me with a sledgehammer in the stomach. I was like, I was like sitting there shaking for literally 1 hour, shaking out of my...
So you were married?
And I was married. It was so fast.
And you got a new religion also in the same time?
It was so fast that it was like unbelievable, it literally took a minute.
When I met you first time, you were an atheist or / Buddhist, and then...
Yeah, Zen Buddhist. I'm still a Zen Buddhist.
And you never... Yeah, Zen Buddhist. And you never wanted to get married.
Yeah, never wanted
Then
to
suddenly, one day...
Yeah, one day I went there to get information, and then I got married. It was like, what?
And you became a Muslim.
Yeah, I had to become a Muslim.
Yeah.
I must say I'm quite impressed with the Muslim religion in a way that they actually practice what they preach. They practice what they preach. Very few people practice what they preach. A lot of people talk. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Muslims say it and they do it.
Wow.
They do fasting. They pray 5 times a day. They wash 5 times a day. They give money to the poor. They take care of the poor. I never see Muslims begging in the streets of Davao. You never see the Muslims sleeping outside. They really take care of each other, And for me, that is very impressive because very few people, very few religions in the world actually practice what they preach.
Yeah.
The Christians practice all the time. Yeah, love your neighbor, love everyone, love. But you see how they treat each other, it's shocking, right? Mm-hmm. If you're a poor man, you're not welcome in the church. You're not welcome in any church if you are poor. If you don't have money to give, you're not welcome.
Yeah, but that is totally outside of what the Bible says,
yes,
of course. The Bible says in the book of Jacob, a letter from James, Jacob, it says, if you are in the church and there's a rich guy with nice clothes and golden ring on his finger, when he enters, you give him the front seat, the best seat. You say, please, sir, sit down.
But that's the policy in the church, right?
Yeah. But James was warning against this. And then he said, there's a poor guy then coming in. He has dirty clothes and he's dirty. He didn't have any possibility to put on his nice clothes because he don't have any nice clothes. He doesn't have any golden ring. And then you will put him in the worst place possible. And James said that is bad religion. He said good religion is to take care of the poor and the fatherless and the widows. That is the good religion. So,
but nobody practices that.
Somebody actually do. Somebody actually do.
Maybe there are a few places.
Yeah.
But the Muslims all do that.
That is amazing.
So, and that is really amazing. So, in my opinion, they really practice what they preach. I did a prayer meeting there, and they have this physical prayer meeting where they kneel down. And your forehead touched the ground, and you know what? I felt power. I really felt physical power, right? Like I studied Qigong and Zen Buddhism, right? So I studied Qigong, this physical power game and so on. And I felt the same power. Just doing those movements during this prayer. I could feel there is real power. And they are talking. They're talking like this. You talk to your angels. There's an angel on your right side and an angel on your left side. You actually address them. You say, okay, da-da-da, you say da-da-da. So there is a real presence, there is a real spirituality in the Muslim religion. That is why they are overtaking everyone in the world, the Muslims. And they're going to take over everyone. They're unstoppable. And it's a simple religion. It's very simple, very basic. I can see them taking over basically the world as a religion. No, I don't think it's a good idea for any religion to take over the world, but I think it's a good idea if your religion is practice what it preaches, and I think that's what the Muslims do. So I can see them doing well.
Okay, just so you guys know, I am extremely Christian, pro Jesus, pro Bible, and I actually hate Islam. I do. I hate Islam, but I love the Muslims, of course, and I totally agree with what you say. But I will also say I had some very nice experiences with it in some churches, but not the big churches, not the Catholic church, not the state church. Those are just terrible places. What you need to do, you need to go and find a group where they practice what they preach, the Bible, goodness of God, and so forth. But this is not. Actually, this was just a parenthesis. No, but there's a parenthesis because the marriage, that is what I was talking about here in the Philippines. The marriage has been hijacked,
Oh yeah, hijacked by the church.
By the church.
And then the government.
Yes.
Government and the church work together like this.
Exactly, because I'm actually a specialist in church history. From university and I started study because I just very interested in finding out if that is the church, and then I studied the Bible, since 1983, I studied the Bible for like 2-3 hours every day for 30 years. So you can imagine, I know the Bible very, very well. And after just 6 months, 7 months, I realized these so-called churches has nothing to do with Jesus and the Bible. The Bible displays something totally different.
Jesus was not a Christian.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus was not a Christian. There was no. Jesus it's a creation of Paul. Paul created Jesus as a Christian. That's what people don't understand. So and the Bible, like you say, it's got absolutely zero to do today's religion, today's church. It's got nothing to do. You're right. There are little groups of Christian people that live that up in the mountain where we live. They are. I think they are fine. I think they are fine people because they are not organized by big churches, big groups, big money. Big money. The church has been hijacked by big money. It's all a money game. That's why I keep saying, if you're poor, you're not welcome in a church. Okay, unless you go to a really tiny little church, organized, just from the grounds up by the roots. But as a big organization, I think the Muslims are pretty well organized and pretty close to their original agenda, or whatever you call it, which is to spread the word and do good to people. And I think that's what they do. They try and do that. I talked to Angel, my wife. She grew up in a Muslim area here outside Davao, and her tribe is a Muslim tribe. It's called what they call themselves. It's the last Muslim tribe in Mindanao, starting from the west. If you start from Tawi-Tawi, and then you go to Zamboanga, then you go to Sultan Kudarat, there are 13 big tribes, right? And the final tribe, to the most east tribe, is her tribe. They are called, honey, what is the name of your tribe here? Kalagan tribe. So, huh? Kagan or Kalagan?